A lot of impactful players on this George Mason offense. Bonnie's going to have to find a good way to defend him and do so quickly.
And a lot of space there on the left side. A lot to play it in here. Gets it to the top of the box. Looking for any entrance there, and scary one there. Something going to get called. It might be a penalty kick early on with just 4 minutes down in this game.
Looks like he's trying to get some help from his line judge here. Maybe he's going to take a look, and yeah, it looks like we're going to have an early one.
To the review. They do have to review most penalties inside the box. That's college soccer regulations there. But that one looked close. You got to give both players a fair chance for the ball, but
showing tight here is going to be essential.
And here's Montova, the junior from Alcoy, Spain. The shot. Put in behind Schoen. 1-0 lead for the Patriots. And they strike early in this one. 4 minutes down, and we have a 1-0 game.
Averaging just over 15 shots on goal per game is George Mason, and there they got the freebie in the penalty kick, and that was an easy goal for the Patriots.
Schoen had Sereno, the sophomore from Portugal.
Schoen directing traffic, setting up his defense where he wants it.
We're going to see a run by the Patriots here, and headed just over the bar. Shouldn't say just over the bar, headed away out of trouble there.
Etienne Godin only has played in 7 games this season for the Bonnies, but a big defensive stop there, getting the header and just knocking it away, allowing the reset here.
And now we're going to get a corner kick, so equally as dangerous. This Bonaventure line is going to get tested a bit here.
Bonnies have only given up 43 corner kicks compared to their 61 this season.
Here's the delivery. And it's headed into the back.
Wow.
George Mason with an early 2-0 lead. That one played perfectly and just too easy on the delivery. The header put in by looks to be Navio Sanchez, but I could be wrong.
Sanchez, his 3rd goal of the season. We'll take another look here.
No, it was number 2, I'm sorry, Elijah Jackson, the graduate defender. His first goal. And this one played from Schoen, and I don't believe it was touched by a Patriot defender. It's going to be their throw. Looking to play something down the line, it looks like. Looking to play anywhere. He's been holding the ball for a while. There's the whistle.
Rough urging him, get it in.
And played up again. And off the head of Godin. We've got a free runner here.
They got numbers.
They have a lot of numbers. Here's the shot and put in the back. It's a 3-0 lead for the Patriots. That one put in by number 27, Kelly Jansen.
Yeah, and that one looks to be the killer. I mean, the Bonnies team looks drained. They don't know what to do. They don't have any defensive options to stop this George Mason team.
And James Eliuda, the graduate student, able to get behind the line there, get the assist, but played into that back corner by Jansen so well.
Team taking a majority of these corner kicks.
And here's the cross again. And it's an opportunity and a goal. St. Bonaventure goal. And a lot of hand fighting, but they get one back. St. Bonaventure able to claw back a bit. 3-1.
Yeah, and some extracurriculars between, it looked like Dreesky and somebody else on the George Mason squad, but the Bonnies finally able to score one off of a corner kick.
And you've got to feel good about that one, getting some momentum back. And that's going to go off Dreesky, and that would be, I believe, his first goal of the season.
Looked like there was about 5 Bonnies in the area. Looked like a bit of a push. And now the side judge is yelling at one of George Mason's coaches.
He wants, I believe he's arguing maybe an offside position, but by the time the ball was kicked, I think they were all there. But there it is, that backside for the Bonnies, able to recollect. That's what they were looking for. That's what Hammond kept doing on those corners over and over and over, and eventually one got away and got that opportunity Drisky with a beautiful goal, just right spot, right time.
Yeah, maybe that's George Mason. You know, George Mason, they didn't fully play out that offensive drive, really just were content to give it to the Bonnies at midfield, and maybe it came back to bite them in the end there.
Yeah, and now we're seeing a lot of Bonaventure pressure now. But altogether, 4 goals in the first half. That's not something you see very often.
And if you're George Mason, you have to stop the bleeding right away.
Here's another shot, and it's in. St. Bonaventure, 2 goals in a matter of a couple minutes. That one put in by number 19, Daniel Hell. So that's 2 goals for 2 subs for Mick Giordano.
Yeah, you saw the subs come in and make an impact. This is a huge, huge swing of momentum. I know that George Mason still has the lead here, but the fact that they were able to put together 2 goals in this before even going to the half, they have
off the head of Yassine Khalid. And here's a shot. Whoa, what a save by Schoen. And that one was going in, and that was a missile from outside the box.
Great save by Schoen there. He just saved the entire Bonnie's defense there.
Yeah.
That is way too open of a shot. They had been doing a great job. Shillington closed out, but just not enough time.
Elijah Jackson, the defender, able to put up a beautiful shot there from outside the box. And here's the cross now. A lot of confusion. Off of Bonnie's foot. Headed and in to the left side. 20 seconds to go, and George Mason scores another. And that's a heartbreaker for the Bonnies, but if you're Mason, what a way to get back into this one and get some motivation going to the locker room. Just a lot of bodies there, and they did their best to clear it off the line, but Schoen unable to get there. That one is put in by Kelly Jansen. Again, a lot of the players here. And McFarland has some space on the wing.
Good look here.
Plays it in, but defended away pretty well there. That was David Garcia, who's been very solid for them in that center back position.
Looks like the Bonnies are trying to just keep getting shots on goal, keep getting shots in front of the net, and maybe not care as much entirely about the quality of the shot, really just trying to put pressure over onto George Mason's side.
And sometimes that's what works, you know. Just those bad shots, they don't always, they're not always bad shots. Any shot could go in, especially when it's put on the net. And here's Shillington with an opportunity. Shillington off his left foot, and it's in! Bonaventure takes 3 goals. Shillington, the captain, the midfielder, but it might get waved off here. No, there's just yelling at the contact, but Shillington with his opportunity here. Off his left foot. Bonaventure down 1 now.
3.
Passing around the midfield now is George Mason, looking for a way down, but not a lot of attackers there. They're outnumbered by Bonaventure defenders.
We've almost seen a reversal in strategies. George Mason now sticking to that more slow-paced offensive strategy, just trying to slowly push up the field. And the Bonnies obviously down have to overcome that lead, so they've been just trying to get the ball as far down on this George Mason side.
And now George Mason just building from the back. Plays it down that right side. Bonnies have numbers on defense here, but George Mason has numbers on the attack. They take it down the right side. Looking for a cross now. There it is. It is a goal! A goal from James Eliuda. Living in that final third of St. Bonaventure. He finally gets his goal. His 3rd of the season. And a beautiful cross there. Knew exactly where his guy was, and what a shot. Can't shoot that one better. And of course, not over yet. 10 minutes to go. But here's a convincing cross into the box there, yeah. And in the corner now. McFarland stops it the first time, but not the second. And they're just playing ping pong on each side of the net for the Bonnies here. And good opportunity there maybe to take a shot, but they decide not to. Play it back out to the wing. You
almost wonder if they're content to not shoot the ball.
And there it is. A cross and into the back of the net for Jacobo Sanfeliu. He now leads the A10 in goals. And that's the one to do it. Maybe the dagger for St. Bonaventure.
You thought maybe they were content to just play with the ball outside of the box, draw the time, but then you saw the cross in, and a great goal there by the Patriots to likely cap off and put a final nail in this one.
6-3 the score. His first goal tonight, but he's had a streak of scoring in pretty much every game this year, and he's been athletics complex, but it's not looking good. 6-3 the score, George Mason on top. And just like the rain here, for the Bonnies, when it rains, it pours, and it's pouring here, and so are the goals. And here's another opportunity, but sniffed out by Mercer.
Yeah, and you just got to credit George Mason. The opportunities they got, they did a great job of converting those opportunities into goals. You really did not see as good of a job of that by the Bonnies today.
And McFarland now, trying to make the best of his situation, gives it to Hammond. Hammond just opting for a cross, and a good goal there. Nishan Sutherland able to tip that one in off a beautiful cross from Seth Hammond. 6-4 the score, and 9 minutes to go.
Hey, that's a great start to the comeback. You got to get the first one. That's the most important one. If you don't get a start to the comeback going.
And now that extra George Mason goal there really is starting to hurt, because this would have been a one-score game this week, and just honestly, disappointing effort. When you're down, you know, and it's a tough spot to be in. You're playing a very good opponent, and it's a game that you really want to win, but just it's hard to make a comeback now with 4.5 minutes to go. So you're seeing a bit of
and back to what I was saying about UNC Asheville with Coach Giordano. He had a lot of success there. He was used to winning, used to going into the playoffs every single year. So this is a bit of a different ending to the season than he's used to.
And a good shot by Hammond. It goes in. 4 minutes to go. Hammond with another shot, and back and forth with the A10 leaders now in shots. And Shillington, beautiful cross there to the only man over there. Left foot of Hammond off the hands of Salvato, and now it's a one-score game.